Hi there, this is Josh, and this is the companion video series for Steps Ahead, my ebook all about the origins and beginning stages of playing jazz and bebop. Today's video is about The Days of Wine and Roses, a great ballad that I'm really excited to play with you. So the layout of these videos, like you've hopefully seen in the past, is we are going to talk about the form of the song, isolate some ideas and do a preparatory exercise. Today it'll be on some modal play, which I think will be a lot of fun. Then we will work through the etude, analyzing it. I'll give you some fingering ideas, and then I'll play through it, and then you'll be on your way to learning this beautiful song. So, first, let's start with analyzing the song. So, this is a relatively new song compared to what we just did with "Oh Win the Saints" in the last video series I made, or last video I made. This is from 1962, and you kind of can see some of those non-functional harmony kind of working a little bit. It's a little less in the box, which I really appreciate. So you basically have A, B, A, C as the form. You start with an A section, which is 8 bars, which moves from F to E flat to D, then to G minor, and then a 2-5 of A flat. But then what's interesting is in the B section, we change keys, moving around more in the key of F before taking our time and getting back to F in the A section. What I mean by that, let me clarify, is that the last two lines, the 2-5, B flat minor to E flat 7, feels like it should go to A flat 7, but this is actually a backdoor dominant chord to the key of F, but resolving to A minor. Again, a lot of theory jargon, but the idea is that we're pushing out of the key and then coming back to the key for the B section. So A section's in F with this interesting backdoor 2-5 here, a child at play that takes us to a 3-6-2-5 in the key of F. We then do a 2-5, traditional 2-5 here at before, which takes us back to the A section, which is just an almost direct copy. We then have a C section, which is almost the same, but has a ascending melodic phrase, which is typical of songs like ballads or more pop versions of ballads. I think of Fly Me to the Moon, which has a C section where the melody jumps, and other examples like that. Excuse me. And then finally, we hit the ending of the tune with a 3-6-2-5, just like we did before. Let me play you the song. I love this chord right here. The D. I'll talk about that in a second. I usually play this in cut time. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A little faster so it doesn't get quite as ballady or jerky, even though it should be a ballad. There we go. Lovely little tune. Cool. So, let's talk about this preparatory exercise that we want to do today. What I'd like to do is pull out, I think I talked about this, I teased this in the foreword of this page. Bar 3 is my favorite of the song, and it's my favorite because I can utilize one of my favorite harmonic devices, and it's a mode. So what we're going to be talking about is this guy right here. Okay. So what this is, I specifically like this over a D7 chord. So we're actually just going to keep it in this key, but I'm going to show you its construction and then show you some exercises to play around with it. So what it is a E Mixolydian flat 6 scale. The way I think about it is all the white keys with F sharp and G sharp. Go ahead and get that under your finger. So E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C, D, E. It's a beautiful scale. So over D, why I like it is it starts on the 9, gives you the 3rd, the sharp 11, the 4th, or the 5th, excuse me, 6th, dominant 7, and the root. So it's very bright. Go ahead and play that against a D7. I'm just doing a shell or half shell. So I took this from a McCoy Tyner recording. He does this on Satin Doll from Night of Ballad and Blues off that record. And he does. So he walks up 2 octaves, goes up to the 5th, and then does a little chromatic downturn to the D. So nice. And I take it and I copy and paste it everywhere. So let's talk about how some of this harmony can work. So we're just going to do 1 octave. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the scale and we're going to deconstruct it so that you can apply it to any key you want. But then the exercises we're going to do are specifically over this D7. So to make the scale, what you do is you take whatever dominant chord you want, in this case D7, you go up a whole step to get to E, play E major, play that scale, that major scale, and then flat the 6th and 7th scale degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the root. So over G, go up to A, right up a whole step, flat the 6th and the 7th, okay, over F7, you go up a whole step to G, 4, 5, 6, so this is just going to have an E flat in it. Really pretty. So that is the construction of the tune. You can do that as many times as you'd like, in as many contexts as possible. The reason I like the key of D specifically, I find the shape very easy to play. I like being up higher on the F sharp and the G sharp with my 2nd and 3rd finger, which allows that pass through. People think that the piano tends to be non-key specific, where we can kind of play anything, which we can. It's easier for us to transpose than, say, a guitar or like a trumpet. Playing something in 2 different positions is way different. Guitar, even, like the frets change shape and size, so that is a little bit tricky, even though it's... Sorry, my mic keeps falling. There we go. But on piano, there are certain shapes that we do find are easier to play, depending on kind of where your 2nd and 3rd finger are and how the wrist is curved. And this is one of those that's actually pretty easy to play relatively quickly when you practice it. So that's why I like this specific shape in this specific key. All right, so let's do some exercises on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk up in a couple different patterns. First thing we're going to do is we're going to walk up linearly, just like we did. Do that with me. 1, 2, here we go. Swing it. 1, 2. Here we go. There we go. Now, let's do thirds. So we're going to go up the third, down a step. And end on the E. So it'll sound like this. I'll do it first. Super pretty. Here we go. Nice and slow. Let's go a little bit slower than that, maybe about there. 1, 2. Here we go. And fingering is kind of, I do 1 and 3 almost exclusively, ending on the second finger. And then I'm kind of going back and forth here, I guess, between 3 and 2, and 4 and 3, and 1 and 2. Let's do it again. 1, 2. Here we go. Yeah, nice job. Let's do triads. So we're going to build 3-note voicings in this scale. So we're going to go E. First shape is E, G sharp, and B. Second shape is F sharp, A, and F sharp, A, and C. Third shape. And then the last shape. So you can see, I'll show you why this is kind of cool in a second. Okay, so let's play those in blocks in whole notes. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the next shape. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, starting on the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, like that one. 3, and back down. You could end on D if you want. There we go. So these triad pairs, these triad sounds are pretty cool because once you're in this position, you can kind of go in any pattern you want. So like something like, so I'm going from one shape isolating those shapes, playing them in different patterns can sound pretty cool. Let's break them apart just linearly though. Actually, let's go up and down. That'll be fun. Just breaking these apart in interesting ways. So we'll just go up, starting on E. So we'll go up, connect to the second shape. Third shape, like so. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and. Fun. 1, 2, one more time. For those of you that have the fingering figured out and want to try it a little bit faster, let's do that. So it'll be about there. 1, 2, here we go. Fun. So the way we can use this in context, now that we have a couple different shape ideas, is you have a 4-bar phrase here. Right? So over the last 2 bars, the way the etude is written, let me get me out of the way. There we go. The way the etude is written, you play this. Oops, let me move this so I can see it. 3, 4. And then we just do. Right, that's how it's written. But you could do anything you want over that D7. So I want you to try a couple different shapes. So I'm going to comp for you, and you can do whatever you want. So it'll be play this as written, then try something here. Right? Use any pattern we talked about. You could do straight up the pattern. You could do thirds. You could do triads. You could connect the triads. Any combination of arpeggios or scales. Okay? So I'm going to do that as a loop. I'm going to do those 4 bars. We'll stop and we'll do it a few times. Ready? Starting on A, measure 33. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's do that one more time, a little bit slower. Oh, 1, 2, and I'll loop it this time. Here we go. Nice job. I hope you enjoyed that. Play around with these different shapes. So now that you know this scale, apply it all over the place. Have some fun with it and put it in other tunes. All right. Let's talk about the etude. So this etude is relatively short and sweet. It's just over the first A and first B of the melody, and then you take back to the lonely night discloses. We go back to measure 17 after it. So we start with, spoiler alert, chord tones with one non-chord tone as a passing tone. Back to the third. Okay. We then move to E flat 7 with a sequence. What a sequence means, it's the same shape, same ratio of intervals in a different place on the piano. This time, instead of starting on the 3rd of the F, it starts on the 5th of the E flat. Don't forget your B flats there. And we move from B flat back up to B flat with all chord tones except the one passing tone. We then connect with a triplet to the McCoy-Tyner phrase that we just discussed. So that's just that modal thing. Excuse me. We then do a chromatic passing tone up to the high E. E, E flat, D. So chromatic, and that's going to be a passing tone to get us to C. So chromaticism down, sorry, there we go. Chromaticism, enclosure, and we're ending on that A in octaves. Now, this little sign is a tremolo. So the way I had envisioned it would be okay. So what that means, just take 2 notes and you kind of use your wrist with the pedal. You can do a really fast, really tight one, or kind of a looser one. But it sounds really nice over that G minor. The The thing is, you don't want it to be metric if you can help it. You don't want it to be like 16th notes or 32nd notes. Just kind of like a wall of sound. Okay. We then repeat that. Another sequence. This is enclosures, so the chord tones are here, starting on the 6th or the 13th. I'll call it 6. Up to your upper chromatic tone and back, chord tone. 3rd, the A flat is a chromatic passing tone, which gets us to the A. And then this is all, if you look at the chord tones here, this is a chord tone, this is a chord tone, and this is a chord tone, and this is a chord tone. So we're basically going altering between chord tones and non-chord tones. Really nice little melodic fragment there. I like this line. So kind of moving sort of like an arpeggio up to the 9. And then kind of an answering phrase to that, all with diatonic passing tones. Notice the B natural because we're playing this kind of in D Dorian instead of A, or instead of the key of F. Same thing with the A minor. We're kind of treating it like its own idea, its own tonal center instead of part of a grand equation, even though it is a 3/6. 2/5 in the key of F. We're thinking of it as A minor, all the white keys, D Dorian, all the white keys. So almost like in the key of C for those 2 bars. We then move on, getting back to the key of F. I like that one. So it's the 3rd, diatonic up to the 4 or the 11. Of the G minor, the minor 7th, the minor major 7th. So this is the minor major, but used as an enclosure around the root. Kind of adds just a little bit of dissonance against that F in the G minor 7 chord. That's cool. Then the same kind of thing. Same shape. Root up to the 9, up to the, the flat 9, down, sharp 11, 7th, natural 5. Together they kind of make a yin and yang pair. They're far apart, so they sound like 2 entities. They're not quite connected, which I think I was liking like it was a compositional idea. The phrases don't connect as much for those 2 and exist on their own in kind of 2 different corners of the song. Finally, to end the tune, we have like a whole tone scale kind of. Or like a whole half. It's like a whole half scale. This is another kind of scale using chromaticism. If you alternate between whole steps and half steps, you get this kind of sound that works over some of these scales. This might be a little much to analyze at this exact moment. But the whole scale sounds like this: G, A, B flat, C, C sharp, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C natural. Then we roll, which is really nice over the G7 to the G minor. So the 9 is consistent, that A is consistent for G7 and G minor, the same chord. that going. Really cool. We then end with a whole tone scale. Excuse me, not a whole tone scale, a sharp kind of that C mix flat 6. So it's actually the same thing as we did for the D7 chord, but over C, but over its root, which you can also do. And what I did is just arpeggiated it, starting on the 7th, this time the sharp 5, the 5, or the flat 13, I guess. Again, it'd be 7, flat 13, 5, 3, 7, or root 7th, flat 13. What's cool about that, so like just to talk about kind of why that's interesting, if we did the same thing we did at the top of the tune, what we would be doing is playing C7, we'd go up a whole step, and we get this sound. But what I did in that circumstance specifically is I started on C and did it. So you get like an augmented kind of sound, a sharp 5, a flat 13 sound. And that's what I did there, which is unique. All right, let's go over the fingering. Oh, I forgot to do that little pickup. Just an arpeggio, B flat minor. So this is measure 32. So an arpeggio starting with a turn on the 9th up to the 9 of G minor, then chord tone, chromatic, pushing us to the A of the first bar. So the fingering for that, I go 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time on that. Starting on the pickup. 4, 3, triplet, 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, and the only thing is you really got to end on the thumb on E, or else it's not going to work. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5. One thing you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 personally, but it's up to you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pinky, 4, 3, 2, 4, pick up the hand and move. So that whole shape one more time, starting at 33. 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 1. Roll between pinky and thumb. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Push the hand way into the piano. So, right? So like A, push way in to get that high D flat. Okay. 1, 2. 3, 4, 1. I do chromatic fingering here. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2. Do that completely 1, 3. 1. So I do 1, 2, 3, thumb, So when you have this much of a gap to get from your third to your thumb, use the top of your body, lean into it to support that top of your hand. You don't want to be over here leaning way over here to get these notes. And actually, if you can get to the fourth finger on that high B, that's actually better. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4, 2. Let me show you 41 and 42 again. God, I like that line. It's so quaint and so musical. Okay, then you just put the third finger on the B flat. I like the thumb on the F sharp, or the fourth finger if you want to use the second finger. And then chromatic. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Keep moving here. 45. Just threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I would play it. Five, 3, pick up the hand to hit that roll. Again. One, 2, 3, 4. Then 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get another lean. To get that last fingering there. I like that scale too. There we go. That was the fingering breakdown. Hopefully that helped as well. This tune is so beautiful, and I can't wait to for you to get through it and start using it in your repertoire or in your practice. It's such a nice tune. I mean, it's a Henry Mancini tune. You can't go wrong with Henry Mancini. I hope you have a wonderful practice today and that you are enjoying the book so far. Have a great day, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye-bye.